Wow, guys. So, yeah, today I want to give an update on Cineworld, ticker CNWGY, up almost 50% today. Let's take a look at this. It's been pretty wild the past day for Cineworld stock. It went as high up to 65% in a single day. Now, to put it in context, over the past 3 months, it's been down roughly 90%. And it was trading at $1.20 3 months ago. So yeah, it's down quite a bit. So we need to put that into context that this stock has lost most of its value in a very short period of time. So a 60% rally or a 50% rally really isn't a lot in the grand scheme of things, but it just really shows the potential of this stock is just, the wild the wild trading that can happen in one day. You can gain 65% in a single day, and it dropped down to 43%. And obviously with a stock that has low volume, with an ADR, essentially an OTC stock, you don't really have that much price action going on. So theoretically, if I had, I only have about $100 invested in this, but if I had, let's say, $100,000 invested, if I dumped all of my stock right now, the price of Cineworld would go down, and you would notice it. Like, just one single investor, one whale, can really drive the price down when you have such low activity going on. But, when you're up 65%, that does seem like something is going on here, and we are in the beginning of something that's, that could be huge in the future. I did predict in my last video on Cineworld that I see 10, 20, 50 times, 100 times gains in, the not too distant future. Honestly, I could see it 100xing within the next year. And the funny thing is, we're talking about whether or not Cineworld's going to be the next AMC. Obviously, there are a few things that are different. One thing is that Cineworld is a stock that is a foreign investment, essentially. If you live in the United States, you're buying it from the London Stock Exchange, and you're buying it as an ADR, which comes with fees. I believe it's about, it varies between ADR, but it's 1 to 3 cents per share. So if you have, let's say you have 10,000 shares, you have to pay $300 in fees, essentially. So that's something to keep in mind, is that it's a little bit different from AMC, which is listed in a big exchange in the United States. You could buy it easier. It's essentially a more accessible stock. But I would argue that because Cineworld is so cheap, that people are going to look past all that, and they're just going to buy it. Even, with the whole bankruptcy thing, nothing is really changing with the theater industry. Like, the theater industry is not going to collapse, okay? Despite the doomers, despite what people are saying, theaters are not going to collapse. And the only reason why AMC is not in the same situation is because they have a lot of capital from the meme pump. It went from... I'll actually pull up AMC. I do not have any AMC, but yeah, here's the thing. It's down 9%, while Cineworld is up 40, 50, 60% in a single day. So both of these companies are definitely experiencing a lot of volatility. Obviously, a lot of what's happening with AMC has to do with the whole preferred equity thing, APE, and it's kind of messing with the price. So yeah, AMC, though, if you look at the history of AMC, you go back to 2020, 2021, it crashed all the way down. It crashed, look, very similar to what you're seeing with Cineworld. Well, I just showed you a few minutes ago. Cineworld was down about 87%, 88% within a 3-month period. Obviously, this is within like a 3.5 year period that it was down 83%. So, it did take a lot longer for it to get to that point. But look at how much it gained. It went from $1.36. Obviously, when you're looking at the long-term charts, the actual lowest, the actual bottom and the actual top were actually lower and higher, because that's how it is. But according to the chart, it went up to $37. I remember from the top of my head that AMC went around $70. That was the height. So it went from $1 to $70 within 5 months. In 5 months, you 70x'd your returns from AMC. So I think easily we could do the same thing with Cineworld. Easily. Especially considering that the theater industry is not something that's hopelessly going to fail. It's not like a GameStop. GameStop was another stock that got pumped crazy. But the fact of the matter is, GameStop is not going to exist in a short number of years. And that's, self-destructive on their own part. I have not been to a GameStop in almost 5 years because of the way that they treat not just their employees, but their customers. Always trying to sell something to me and being really, really aggressive with trying to sell shit. And just, I just really didn't like the whole vibes I got as a customer. So I just stopped going. And obviously the whole digital gaming thing made it a lot more convenient. Now people are saying, well, the same thing can be said with streaming compared to going out to the movie theater. People are still worried about COVID and this and that. What I would say is that the movie industry is not sustainable at all without the box office and without the movie-going experience, because most of the money that a film makes is actually through the box office and not through digital distribution. As compared to the video game industry, you don't really, you buy a game directly, whether it's physical or digital, you're giving money to the developer and the publisher. But when it comes to film, it's a lot. Like buying it directly on video is not the same as the movie going experience. They've tried it with films like Black Widow and other movies, and it just didn't work out. There's a reason why Disney is going back to theater only releases, going only exclusively to movie theaters, at least for a short number of time. I think about 3 months or so. I know Thor: Love and Thunder is already headed to Disney Plus, and it just came out less than a month and a half ago. So yeah, that's something. You could say that the times are changing and the streaming is kind of messing things up with the theaters, but I don't think so. I don't think theaters can ever be replaced, because the money is just, there's so much money on the table that you're leaving behind if you completely abandon a theatrical release. There are some movies, I would say that most movies can only be made and can only be experienced through the theater. I mean, there's some movies that work out fine. Like you have these movies that come out exclusively on Netflix and they launch straight to Netflix and stuff like that. But if you look at a movie like The Irishman, for example, they definitely would have made a lot more money at the box office, like if it was just a theater-only release than just Netflix. But Netflix bought the film, so, that happens. So I'm just saying, I really don't see the theater industry collapsing. And let's go back to Cineworld, because we're not really, fuck AMC. So, yeah, I only have 800 something shares, about $100 invested. I was planning on tripling my position, having at least $300 in on this, and then just seeing where it goes. Because if I have $300 and if I 100x my return, which I do think will happen, then that would be 30 grand easy for nothing, And I probably, honestly, it really depends on what happens in the short term, because you guys know my big plays are Ethereum Classic and Ethereum. If this merge that's happening causes a short-term pump, like a crazy pump, like if ETC 10x's, or if Ethereum 10x's, like if they both do, or whatever happens, then I would consider selling a portion or all of my Ethereum and Ethereum Classic, depending on the price, obviously. If it goes to $200, even $300, I probably wouldn't sell. But if we're talking $500, especially up to $1,000. If ETC ever went to $1,000, I would sell all of it without question. And with Ethereum, I'd probably sell it all at like, I don't know, because I have one Ethereum. Maybe I'll sell it at like 25, 30, like, we'll see about that. But yeah, I would definitely consider putting those gains, potential gains from the crypto, into Cineworld. I would put at least $5,000 into Cineworld. At least, like, if I just had a shit ton of money to invest, $5,000 would be like my minimum investment. So that if it times this by 100, I get $500,000 easy. Yeah, like I totally think that it's gonna happen. I totally think that Cineworld is gonna be a huge opportunity. And, with today's price action being up 50%, I think it just shows, it gives you a taste of the potential of this stock. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Are you buying Cineworld? Are you holding it? Are you adding it? What is your average cost? Mine is just a little bit over 12 cents, but I can imagine if your average price is like 40 cents or 50 cents or even $1, I can't imagine. If it's at any of those prices, you're definitely feeling a lot different about the stock than I would, being someone who only bought in at 12 cents. But if you bought in much higher, you're so red that it's going to take a while for you to dig out of that hole. But I just want to know where you guys stand on Cineworld. Follow the community on Reddit, r/CNWGY. I got like 8 members on that shit. We're a pretty small community, but I think we're gonna keep growing as time goes on. And I'm actually gaining a lot of subscribers from Cineworld. They got Cineworld and ETC people. They're the ones that follow my account, and I will be posting an ETC video very soon, probably today. I'll give you guys a double upload. But yeah, it's pretty exciting. I'm really looking forward to the future of this stock, and I think it's going to be even bigger than what we saw with AMC.